Enterprise Continuum. This is where you exploit the common architectures previously defined by the industry experts around the globe. QRS provides a rich repository of capabilities. For example, at the time of this recording, there were over 35 capabilities that are required for most IT organizations that are previously defined in the system. You can take these capabilities and extend them for your own organization. What you will see in these capabilities, they are ideal architectures. What could possibly be achieved from that capability? What you will do, you will take these capabilities, assess your own organization's desire to expand, and define your own target state. And based on the target state, you define the transition plan. What you will find the industry architectures, a ideal state, and target transitions to ideal state. To get there, you will need to log on to ECP. You log on to ECP by going to qrs3e.com and log into ECP portal. This module of the ECP is only accessible to the enterprise clients of ECP. Before we start to define common architectures in repository in Continuum, we had to define setup principles. What you will see in this module previously defined principles by QRS, and now we created these principles. Their attributes include level of detail, statement, rationale, and implications. And what these principles appear in TOGAF as an architecture is that the principles become a form of architecture requirements, where architecture requirements are specifically applicable to a specific capability. However, the principles apply across the capabilities. So you will find principles defined at a contextual, conceptual, logical, and physical level of detail. This is where all the architecture capabilities in a continuum are defined. We take the approach of there is a two set of capabilities. There are executive capabilities and directive capabilities. And then we have a notion of operational and strategic. For executive capabilities are defined from the point of view of a senior management where threats and opportunities are visible. Where directive capabilities are directed at the next level of management, where these executive capabilities have to be turned into directives so they could be executed. Directive capabilities frequently have strengths and weakness perspective. There are frequently a number of directive capabilities per executive capability. For example, if you want to improve the base IT performance, you would that will be improved. The base IT performance will be executive capability. But directive capabilities supporting that would be things like operations, platforms and storage, networks, data management, etc., etc. So what you will see in this module, you have a defined capabilities. These are executive and directive. We have defined 65 attributes of a capability. For each capability, then you will have your directive capabilities. For each executive or directive capability, what you will define is the architectures for it, artifacts for that architecture, and how to consume that architecture and extend it. And specific architecture requirements that this capability addresses. And what architecture principles. And also opportunities and opportunity cost. It defines that what architecture requirements this capability currently doesn't address. Hence, what is the opportunity cost of not extending the architecture? We have a defined performance metric for these capabilities, and frequently we define benchmarks for those performance metrics for the capabilities. Once these capabilities are extended to the organization, then you will have a process and skills and technology views associated with that capability. So at the end, what you end up having a executive and directive capabilities with a full view of all its architecture requirements and performance metrics, you can actually look at it in what is the capability, what is current performance, what is the target performance, what is its actual performance at the moment, and what is the industry benchmark to compare how you are performing compared to other industry members in the organization. What's the business value of this module? Well, quite simply this, is that it allows you to exploit architectures that are defined by other people in the industry. Now, these architectures are defined what is ideally possible for this architecture to perform at. In other words, how best this capability could perform. What are the ideal set of results? Then you can take that architecture and tailor it to your organization with your own organization's readiness to assess that how far you are prepared to go. What it does is that it gives you a best possible answer first, and then you can scale back. Idea being, what is ideal results? What are the pragmatic results for your organization that you can target it? This allows you to not architect everything from scratch every time, but exploit what other people have already done. And remember, as we said before, the architectures are reusable, not the models. The goal of this module is to help you reduce the cost of your architecture and improve the quality, and help you improve the strategic goals of the organization, and in the process, and make your architecture practice more progressive.